What is good, motherfucker?
What's up, man?
Not much. So, which replays did you want to start with?
The Omni night one.
I mean, you won.
Yeah, that wasn't because of me, though.
The Blink Dagger's dumb.
Yeah, I did that, that was, like, special request from PA, because she wanted me to, like, dive in with her, I don't know.
I would have been like, hey, fuck you, bitch, I'm just gonna make an Aether Lens instead.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but, yeah, okay, I should have said fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
I'll do that next time.
You gotta have a big dick. Something you need to work on.
I need one of those, like, suction tools that, like... for natural male enhancement.
Lotus is still good against Tinker, but it's not as good, because it just kind of, like, stops him from continuing to cast his shit, but it doesn't take the sheep off.
Mm-hmm. And if you could share your screen, that'd be much appreciated.
No.
Okay.
We're all full of now, dude.
It's like, you never share your screen and I never use quick buy.
Yeah. Dude, you better have fucking done it this time.
I think I didn't start till like 2 minutes in, but I used it.
God, I hate you.
I remember like, oh shit, he's gonna bitch at me for that.
I would definitely be bottom right now. I guess it's fine that you're up here, but you need to TP bottom to start. Cause like your PA gets shit on by like any of these guys. A Clockwork or a Tree. Or any of those with more heroes. I like how you're like, fuck you guys.
I mean, I forgot that SF grabbed that. So, okay. I went to harass Tinker here, because the Tinker's a Divine 2 that somehow got put into our fucking match, and I thought I'd make some space for SF, but, like, it didn't work. I felt like I just got shit on for no reason.
So the thing with this that I'm looking at is the creep wave. Like, you don't have the space to harass this guy. Remember when we did the lesson about the Winter Wyvern over here?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have the space to do this. The creep wave needs to be, like, over here for you to do it. Because now he's got this little bubble where the tower range is right here, and his creeps are right here. So even if you're, like, right-clicking him right here, like, it's just, he's so close to his tower that, like, he can last hit his creeps almost from under tower, which means that you can't do anything here. But if the creeps were here, if he's, like, right-clicking and you and shit under the tower, he's not getting creeps. But if he does that here, he's doing it and getting creeps. And if you try and do anything, you fuck up the creep aggro, which pushes more into his side.
Yeah, like, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's just, you can't do this shit when the creep wave isn't blocked well enough. And really,
just went down to like a quarter health for no reason.
Yeah, it's not so much that, it's that you also took experience, and you're not helping your PA bottom that's getting dual laned.
Right.
So you could have been doing much more, but instead you stole experience and pushed the mid wave to do 90 pure damage to a Tinker.
Right. Okay.
That's one
I'm
of
just gonna
those.
add that to my notes right now, actually.
Yeah, that's
Hold
one
on a
of those
second.
where you feel like it would be great if you could shut the Tinker down, but it's understanding that you can't.
Right.
So it's like something that needs to happen in the game, but it's not something that you can do, so it doesn't matter how much that it needs to be done, it's still outside of the realm of possibilities for you.
Right.
And now this lane, one thing that's very important with dual off lanes is they usually spike at level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this guy is a beast at level 2, where he's, like, decent at level 1. Like, he's a pretty strong right-click at level 1, and he's got the half-second root. But this makes it so he gets, like, 2 or 3 hits more, and you're healed, or you're healing, and you're doing damage and shit. And then this guy with battery assault, like, you can just play around it, but if he cogs you correctly with battery assault, you're going to get hit by like 5 or 6 more of these, and then you're going to have to use 2 hits to get out of the cogs while he's hitting you, and then when you run out of the cogs, you get hit by the cogs and pushed back. So both of these guys are much stronger at level 2 than they are at level 1. Whereas you're about as strong as at level 1 and 2 in this exact situation. You do get stronger at 3, but you kind of like played into their hand as opposed to playing into your own. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I definitely don't mind this because you are going to be useless in lane. So we've talked about bounty runes, and this clockwork would have just got both of those. So what you did was actually huge. You got how much experience and how much gold? And this is the 2-minute one, so it only gets better from here. So you start at 133, and you get 54, probably like 54 again. Yeah. So you got 180 gold, and you got, what were you at? 33. So you got
133.
yeah. So you got like 80 experience or something, around 75 experience and 105 gold, or 108 gold. So about 75 experience and 100 gold, and you can think of that as 220 gold and 150 experience because you shut the clockwork down from getting that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's about 4.5 last hits you just got, essentially.
Right.
With just gold. And then it's like you got, it's harder, I don't know how to put it in denies. But you see how that's huge, and you literally would have done nothing else in lane. I think the main thing is the repel. You got this instead of repel.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. Should I have just gotten that level 2, you think?
I think you should have got Repel and you should have got Wand here. How do I put it? So you know that you're in a position that, like, the game's gonna be hard, and you can tell that already, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, you can already tell that you're gonna be behind on experience and gold. So your boots aren't gonna really accomplish too much. Because one, you're not running from lane to lane. And two, if you're repelled, you don't really care so much. Like, it's more important for you to have your spells and your health than it is to have your movement speed. Because I think how you want to play this is just making sure they can't kill the PA. Which means if you have a wand and you have a repel, you just sit like back here. And then if they go on her, you can like heal bomb her and then try and tank some and then wand up and have more mana and full health. But like your boots, what are your boots really gonna accomplish in this lane?
No, not much, you're right.
And it's like, maybe if you started here at level 1 and you could get both of your level 2s before they got their level 2s, and you got boots, and then you could run them down while you're stronger than them, and then abuse that, then boots might be good. But here it's kind of like, you lost the upper hand, so now you have to play reactionarily instead of proactively. And another thing with this is that means that you're not going to have maxed repel until whatever level. I think it's like I think you can get max repel at 9 if you go 4-4-0-1. But because you got this, it won't be until level 11 if you get the GPM talent, which you probably should. So
yeah, I did.
Yeah, which is like, it's good. Like, especially when you're behind, 90 gold per minute is a ton. And it's better than, like, this has 4 second less cooldown and 1 second more uptime, which is huge on the last level, but it's like, or you could just like fucking have an item and get that a minute later.
Right.
So I think this is gonna mess you up at level 9, 10, and 11. And so does all of that make sense? That you weren't here at the start, which was a huge problem because their dual lane got experience and levels, and you guys didn't, and you didn't shut them down early. Like
they
this,
got both bounty runes too. Bottom.
Well, that's not too big of a deal. Like, that just means this guy has his like wand upgraded like 30 seconds sooner or whatever. I think the second ones are actually more important than the first ones because they have the experience, and at this point 200, like, if you look at what 200 experience does versus 200 gold at level 1, it's like hugely different because getting the 200 experience at level 1 means you're level 2, which means you have 60 more health, you have whatever more armor and attacks, you have like all your stats from leveling up, and then you also have a second ability. So your level 2 means 60 more health, 30 more damage, yada yada, and then they also can't cast spells on you for 4 seconds. Like, and then you compare that to like having a wand or whatever. Like, having the repel is just so much better. Or like comparing it to like a quelling blade or some shit like that. So the second bounty runes are more important than the first ones in the early game, which of course.
Right. Yeah, it's something I've been like kind of auto buying without thinking about it. I didn't like it never crossed my mind that maybe it's not worth getting the boots right away. So I need to start thinking about that. So should I have just gotten a point in repel there instead of the second point in heal bomb, do you think? Or
I don't think so, because if you get in a okay, so purification is always going to be good in every situation. Just like having more points in this is always going to be good, right?
Oh yeah.
Like every situation that pops up, it's just nice to be able to do 70 more heal and 70 more damage for 15 more mana. But like, so let's say you're put in a situation where this guy's getting slow harassed. Like let's say this guy's like spamming rockets and he's getting like cogs off on your PA, and this guy's like punching him once every 10 seconds. Your repel doesn't do anything to that, but your heal does. And then let's say they go full on this guy, your repel is going to be good for that. Like if they have him cogsed and battery assaulting and leech sheeted and all that, your repel is going to be better for that, but it's like your purification is still going to be like good regardless. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I still should have gotten repel instead of degen already.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, that's already established.
But at this point, it's still worth going the second point, okay.
Yeah. Raffle, actually, if you had a repel here, you would have lived.
Yeah.
I think that's just like understanding that Clockwork's a fucking beast in 1v1 solo.
Oh, I know.
Do you though? You tried to fucking fight this guy. He does, what is that, like 60 DPS with mini stuns, meaning that your attacks are slowed as fuck. And he has a stout shield, and he has a wand, and cogs, so you have to fight him for 5 seconds. And it's a dual lane, so this guy can show up, and the creep waves are under your tower, so your PA doesn't want to show up. Like, this is the shit you have to think about.
Right, like she just wants to sit back and farm and not get involved in that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like for at least at this stage.
It's fine that you pulled there because, like, the lane is kind of like no matter what happens, the off lane is dictating what happens in the lane. Meaning, whatever happens in the lane, they're the stronger ones, so they get a like, if the creep wave's right here, it's better for them. And if the creep wave's like right here, they can also kind of shit on your PA. So your PA would rather be last hitting under tower while they're fucking around over here. Which is what you made them do, but so the action was good, like the macro decision of pulling was good, but the micro decision of trying to 1v1 a Clockwork when you don't have repel is not good.
Okay.
Does that make
sense?
sense?
I really like Clock right now. Yeah, I had like a really good Clock game right before this one actually.
Yeah, I like him a lot because he has solo pickoff, but he has solo pickoff that's not dependent on holding an ability. Like Night Stalker, you have to hold your Q or they can just TP out. But Clockwork has this just cancels TPs for 10 seconds, and this one also cancels, and this one also cancels. And you're not you're not dependent on nighttime to also be doing it. And then there's like Pudge before level 6 is also like that. Who's Earth Spirit's another one where if he stuns you, you can just TP out. Tusk also, if he snowballs you, you can just TP out.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to learn how to play Tusk, but he's hard. At least I think he is.
Yeah, he's definitely not easy. He's not one of the... I like to say that 80% of the cast is like 80% of the cast. Where, like, the difference between Dazzle and Omni Knight is not too much. But the difference between Meepo and Tinker, or Meepo and Earth Spirit, is, like, huge. Because
right.
both of those are 20% of the cast that's not like the rest.
Right, yeah.
And Tusk is the same in that he has like a mini fissure that has a curved thing that you have to line up with paths relative to your positioning. So it's like there's a lot of... And if you can't do that, you can't play Tusk well. Whereas Omni Knight, it's like hard to not be able to crush your Q. It's more about when, as opposed to how. Lol.
Yeah.
And here it's like, another point with the wand is this guy has a mana drain. So if you run into his cogs after a fight, you're just out of mana. And then you're useless because you guys are behind. What are you doing?
I was going for the ward.
Gotcha.
Probably a greedy move. None of them were showing.
It wasn't greedy. It was that when you saw him, you kept going. So here, I would... Right here, I'd be like, oh fuck, there's a Rubik I'm running. But it takes you like a whole second before you react. And I think that goes back to the vaccines. People are gonna watch this fucking this video and they're gonna be like, what? Unless they've watched all of the other ones.
And you know, the mercury in my mother's breast milk, all that too.
Yeah. And now it's kind of like you're just behind unnecessarily, and you don't know what to do, because... Like, I think going top is the play, because bottom's fucked, and you, like... Can't do too much about it, and you just kind of, like, have to hope your PA saves her Phantom Strike and blinks out whenever she gets cogged.
Yeah.
Like, you can kind of stand behind her and do shit, but it's like... Your alternative is going top with the Monkey King and playing very aggressive, so that it's a PA versus a Clockwork instead of... like, if you go top, you can force the Treant to go top. Which alleviates the PA, because the PA would rather be 1v1 with a Clockwork than 2v2 with you and Treant. And now you're just kind of like in a limbo of like not doing anything. Like I understand the point of like, alright, mid's empty, I kind of want to go there, but like, this is a kill lane if you're there. If Pudge gets a hook and this guy attacks him for like any amount of time, especially with a repel, you can kill like really easily. And Monkey King can like set up for Pudge and shit, so this is like a really good opportunity to get kills. Lol, he missed. Oh, laser. Okay. You're supposed to toggle your degen aura, dude?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thanks for the tip. Appreciate it. That's a 5K secret or excuse me 6K secret that.
Yeah, don't fucking call me a
That is-
5K. And yeah, you've died 3 times, so right now you could probably have a wand for free, or at least close enough. Like you could spend 100 more gold and have a wand by the amount of death costs that you save. At the very least, it would have been like 200 gold that you saved.
God, I can't even stand that bar back.
You're an autist, dude. You're literally under a rocket flare, and you drop the ward. I think that's just underestimating your opponents. Like, what's your MMR?
3,500 now.
Yeah. So that's, like, you can't put up wards when the enemy team knows, or can know, that you're... Like, that... There was... Did we go over that replay? Was that both of us where... I think I played Rubik, and my, like, Luna and Spirit Breaker died here.
No, that wasn't me.
I think I put that on YouTube, and I can try and find that real quick, as opposed to going back. But the premise of it is, like, knowing when you can and can't place wards, and it was a pretty good example of, I knew that I couldn't place one, even though, like, the chances were kind of low. It's just, like, if I place it and there's just, like, a 10% chance that they can de-ward it, it's like, why place it instead of, like, just wait?
I guess that's just one of those things I can't get away with anymore.
Yeah, it's literally just laziness. Or not, like, derogatorily laziness, it's, like, stuff that you haven't been punished for yet. So you don't know that you can't get away with it. Here, I'm looking it up real quick. I'm gonna... Where is it? Alright, so... Fuck. Alright, 5538.
Here, let's see.
It's this. And I time linked it. It's my, Medusa, Crystal Maiden, and Rubik replay. It's 5036, and then I talk about how I can't place the ward because any of them could see it, and then like it would be very uncommon for like so it was a 4v3 and one of their dudes wasn't there who was a Medusa, so it could be very easy for Medusa to like be sitting on a rune not doing anything, looking across the map and see me doing that, and then call out that Rubik's missing his ward, and he was in this area, so there's obviously a ward in this area, and like that's just gonna happen 50% of the time from the Medusa alone, and then depending on the 4 people that are in the scrimmage, they might also be doing that, and it's just like the chances of that getting de-warded like just skyrocket the higher you go.
Right. So, like, when would you place the ward? I'm watching the video right now. When would you want to place that ward? Like, just wait a minute for them to forget, or?
I think I held it for like 3 minutes or something.
So I think I get what you're saying. It's like once they see you with the ward, and then once they see you without it, they're gonna be like, well, time to go fuck his ward over.
Yeah, so
They're just gonna know.
the main thing. All right, so I'm just gonna use this, and we're gonna pretend that it's the replay. So like I was doing like some shit over this, like here with the Rubik, and then I like ran back here. If they checked my inventory at the start of that and any other point, then they at the very least know that there's a ward in this area, because that's the only place that I was. And it would be fucking retarded for me to place a ward over here. So they can like drop a sentry ward like right here, and 90% of the time get whatever ward I placed. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's I mean, there's the spot at the top of the stairs. There's the spot in the lane.
Yeah, it's this,
and
then sometimes that, and then like there too, and then I think I end up placing this one. I think I end up at like 3 minutes coming through here, and dropping one right there.
Right.
And that's kind of like we didn't necessarily need one, right away. So, like, we could get away with me holding it, and I'd rather hold it, and then, like, it's not so much that they forget, it's that, the clockwork's not going to be checking me every single time for the next 3 minutes. And no other, like, the Medusa isn't going to be, like, when I was pointing it out before, the Medusa's just kind of, like, the spectator of the whole shindig. And she can't, I don't have, like, somebody on the other side of the fucking map AFK watching me at 3 minutes in the game or whatever when I come across over here. So there's like a 10% chance that the clockwork might know that I place this, as opposed to a 50% chance on the Medusa if she's not AFK, and then like 5%, 10% per person that's here that's checking my inventory for like a fairy fire or some shit.
Right.
But yeah, so I hold it for a bit, and then it's like the ward that you place here, it's just kind of like, what else would you be doing? They don't even have to look at you. They just have to see that there's an Omni Knight that runs up to this cliff and then runs back. And that's fucking clear as day that you placed a ward.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is all just stuff that I could previously get away with.
Yeah.
So, fuck. Also, if you hand them over a ward kill really early, that's like 100 golden XP. That's just they get to start out with.
Well, it's they don't really get the 100 gold because they spent it on the sentry. It's more about the experience.
Well, yeah.
And then the ability to get away with anything for the next few minutes.
Yeah.
So the higher up you go to, can this fucking guy? Right. The higher up you go, the more important the ward is for the offlaner to be able to do what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
So if the offlaner knows that we don't have vision of him, he can play a lot more aggressively and get away with it a lot more, because we don't have precise information about him. And then he can also place a ward. And another thing would be is if they eat it with a tango, that's 100 and whatever health, and the experience is like 100 experience too, which is half a level in the start. But the main things are, not only do we not know where he is, but he knows that we don't know where he is, so he can get away with a lot more stuff. Like, he can just like sit like right here or something like that, or come in here and just chill out, and we wouldn't know at all. So it's like there's like a ton of different factors, and almost any of them alone is like huge, but all of them together is like too much to like take that risk. You usually want to... What the fuck? He has... Okay. Usually you want to heal first. It doesn't matter here because he's a blade mail. because then you can heal a few seconds after your repel falls off. And you can't heal during your repel.
So I think I unintentionally did the right thing.
And then here, I'd be running around this tree in the fog. Because this guy's dead if your guy gets Jingu stacks and you don't die. But if you die here, it's a lot harder for him, especially because the Tinker shows up. So, yeah, I would have juked around this tree right here. Or not, like, I would have gone in for the heal and then ran out, because the dude's going to switch targets onto you, probably. So it's like you're kind of mini taunting him and then you go away. Because he's not killing your Monkey King, but he can kill you. And if you're alive, then you get another heal, like, now. And there's, like, no way he can deal with you guys. Does that make sense? That's kind of hard to explain.
Well, it's kind of like, he can't deal with Monkey, but if I jump in, then he's like, oh, well, at least I can get a fucking kill here.
Yeah, and then...
So I think the play there was just heal bomb the fucking Monkey and then keep running around.
Well, I liked where you heal bombed yourself, because it, like, puts his attention on you. And then you can juke around with that. And you put more points in this, which is bad. I wouldn't have minded you getting another point in repel instead of the Guardian Angel. But it's still, like, not the greatest, because they have a Juggernaut, and you can just counter his ult with yours. But getting the extra point in this is not acceptable.
Okay.
And it's just kind of like... So this is really good at the start of the game, because you can run people down when your right clicks actually matter, and the attack slow actually matters. And, like, you remember when I was talking about Ogre Syndrome? Where you have a hero that's tanky for the first 5 or 10 minutes, and then you feel like you're still tanky at 15 to 25 minutes, and you just gotta feed. Omni Knight's kind of like that, where he has decent health and armor and all that, which makes this good early, but later on in the game, like, you can't run at any of them except for, like, a Rubik. So you can't even take advantage of this. So what's the point in getting more points in it? Also, with that clock thing, if you didn't die there, you would have got a lot more experience and gold. So it's very important to not die when you're behind as a support. Or it's like not... It's not very important, but it's like if you can do something that doesn't cost your team much, but it allows you to live, that's how you come back into the game.
And I wasn't sure where to place this second ward. Forget where I put it.
I don't mind this one. I think if they had a lineup that roached, this one would have been better. I think if they had a lineup that could roach, like, this ward and this ward would have been good. But they don't have one that, like, Juggernaut's decent at it, but that's all they have. Like, this guy's battery assault's, like, also, like, kinda nice for it, but that's all. Like, if this was an Ursa, it'd be completely different. So I would have probably... Let's see what you do.
I think I did it. Oh yeah, I went behind tower. But not before being greedy, wolves. Alright,
My thing with this is I think you guys can steamroll the tower. Right?
Right.
Like, they can't really defend this too well unless they make a massive move for it. Like,
right.
They kind of just want to give this tower up. Would you? Yeah. So I think.
And what I remember now is I placed the ward because I was hoping we'd get like a pudge hook.
I was thinking like right here, because this would give the vision of these rotations and these rotations, and then like this whole area. Because like this tower, you guys can kind of just steamroll it.
Okay. So I think what your reasoning here is like you should be able to steamroll that tower anyways, and then now you just have like a fucking ward sitting right behind the tier 1 when you could have one like next to their shrine or...
Yeah. Like think about how much more information you'd be getting if you had this ward.
Right.
Like you'd have the vision on the Juggernaut. And by having this, you give them control of like this area kind of. But if you have this ward, then you can take away control of like everything except for this kind of. And you still kind of have vision of that. So this would mean that the creep wave needs to be like here. Like if the creep wave goes past here, you can kind of like I don't know how to word it. But yeah, I think you understand how this would like. It's back to what I was saying before, where you want to ward on the aggressive line. Like you can get away with being like here-ish. Like you don't want to be like here so much. You kind of don't want to be here unless you outnumber them vastly. And like you don't want to be like here and here-ish. So your aggressive lines like here-ish, like kind of here and like here. Would you agree? Oh, they still have this. So it's like this area is like kind of gray. But up until like here, it like holds true. So with this vision, you don't really have like this whole area right here isn't as controlled as you could have it. And then also, if you try to push out this lane past like right here, it's very scary because you don't have vision of them TPing in. So they could TP in like a tree and a Rubik, and then Tinker could bots in, and then Clockwork could like walk this way and hookshot, and you die. Or like any combination of those. Whereas if you had vision right here, you're gonna see at the very least the Rubik and the Clockwork. Oh, I don't mind the idea of this ward. I'd just rather. I would hold.
Place that one.
Did you? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't. Actually, I do mind it. That fucking sucks. The only thing that this provides for vision is here. Because this picks up anything going this path. So, this doesn't even pick up the rune. So I think if you wanted to place a ward, I would have much rather waited for the SF to push the lane and then placed this when your creeps were at the tower. And I think a lot of it is you probably feel like hot potato with your wards, where like the longer you have them, the more your hands hurt or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So you feel like if you place this down 20 seconds before you place this one down, it's in some way better.
Okay.
So that's kind of just like, I guess relaxing into your warding as opposed to, well, shit, where do I put it? Where do I put it? I don't have anything else to do. I think I need to be warding right now. It's just like, calm down. If you wait 20 seconds, the lane will push out and you can get a better ward, and then you can actually do stuff with it.
Right.
Instead of like trying to satisfy your need to feel useful by placing a ward right away. And like now that ward's completely useless.
Right.
I don't like this. You see your monkey-headed bottom. So like in best case scenario, you're gonna make him jungle instead of getting the creeps. In worst case scenario, you're just gonna be sharing the creeps with him, or like stealing it from him because you felt like you needed to because you TP down here and you don't want it to look like it's a useless TP. So like what you really did was just take experience and gold from your carry. And now your TP's on cooldown and you can't be top. And that's just kind of like looking at your team and their movements and seeing what they want as heroes. And he wants that farm. He doesn't want to go bottom and jungle. Because like another factor of that is, I was going to point out if you stayed for another creep wave. Because I didn't see the Monkey King because I'm watching it as a replay and not a real game. That it's pretty fucking scary to be down here. Because like Tinker can be on the creep wave coming, Treant can be on top of you, and Clockwork can just walk in and hookshot you from like anywhere. So all of this is fucking spooky, and this is even more scary. Because if you get scouted out here, you're just dead, right? As opposed to if you get scouted out like here, you're at least close to the tower. So you would be forcing your monkey to get into the more vulnerable position. This is good though, because you're getting punished hard for sucking.
Yeah. And I'm already noticing that people are a little less stupid in my games now.
Yeah.
I can't get away with a lot of the bullshit I used to.
I don't like you repelling yourself there. I understand that you want to run through the march, but you're at full health. And they're already focused on the Monkey King. So it's kind of like, if they switch targets to you, it's like, okay, cool. My fucking Monkey King's killing all of you, and I'm just an Omni Knight that's fucking 1 in 5. Good job. Like right now, you'd probably have taken like 400 or 500 damage from the march, but you would repel and heal your Monkey King. And then you can ult, and then you're just getting, like, they can't kill you. And your Monkey King barely lived because your Pudge was decent. Hopefully he dies so I can flame you. Yeah. See how if you
Yep.
if you saved your repel there, you would have been fine, and you would have saved the Monkey King.
And myself.
Lol. Get off! Get down! That's not a tree! So this whole thing, it's kind of like... You shouldn't be here. You should be, like, here. Because what happens when you're here is you have to cast your spells on yourself. And then they just go on your SF or your Monkey King. Like, let's say the Treant was like, oh, I guess he's showing. Or not. Yeah, he's showing. So let's say he ended up like TPing like here. And he gave Clockwork the vision to hook you. You would have to heal and repel yourself, and then you'd be a non-factor. And your SF and your Monkey King would come to save you, and then it would just be a 2v whatever, because you're not a hero anymore, because you used your shit on yourself, so you preserved yourself to keep doing nothing. But if you're over here, if they go on you, then they're not in a good position, and then you can cast your spells on yourself. Like, if the Clockwork hook shots you, like, here, from, like, over here, he's gonna die to these guys real quick. But if you're, like, over here and you get hook shotted, you're closer to the enemy team. Your team has to run into dangerous territory to save you. And it's a few seconds before they get there. Whereas if he does it, like, right here, he's in a bad spot. And then you're fine casting the spells on yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And then when you hang around with your Monkey King here, it's kind of like he's not in any threat until you get gone on, and then he has to feel like he has to save you. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think the reason I was hanging around is like, I think is like if he was looking for, you know, Rubik or someone to go on, I didn't want to like, I don't know, not be there to help him, I guess. But hold on a second.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's call this at the hour mark. I got dinner ready coming up.
Sounds good.
And we can finish this later if there's more shit to look at.
Well, again, it's a lot of you fucked up early game. And, like,
Yeah.
it's good because you're getting into a new realm of getting punished. Like, this is breaking MMR for you, right?
Yeah, no, this is the highest I've ever been.
Right. So, like, yeah, you're gonna get punished for new things, so don't feel like if we're watching early game over and over and over and over for your support replays that you're not getting better. It's that you're getting like, fresh mistakes are being pulled out from your gameplay because your enemies are punishing you. So, like, we could focus on fucking early game until you're, like, 6k.
Yep, fresh new dicks in your ass.
Yep, unlubed and everything.
Hotkeys.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, I meant to just teleport right there. No, that actually was hotkeys. But the ward was not.
This is kind of like, yeah, I get that you fucked up and you're probably panicking here. But if you just repel yourself and run down, that's the safest option here. Because, like, yeah, he can hook you and he can cog you. And this guy can ult you, but, like, that's all they can do if you just repel and run away. And that's a lot of spells. And it's not a lot of damage. But if you run up, you're going into a shrine. And you're going into a tinker who can show up on the shrine.
So wrong way, basically.
Yeah. You went back into the danger because, like, he was here and you were there, but, like, so what? Just fucking run through him. Or else you're gonna have to deal with all of this range of dangerous area, as opposed to just like this much. Lol, are you just AFK?
Yeah, I thought the game was over and I AFK'd for like 3 minutes.
How the fuck is the game over? You don't even... You have 2 tier 2s up in Iraqs.
I may have tilted a little.
You're like the only one not doing well. I guess the Monkey King's getting dicked on too. I think I would have liked to see a Glimmer Cape.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Because that's really good against Clockwork. It's really good against Tinker. It's really good against Omni Slash. Like, Juggernaut just has to carry a dust around. And Tinker can't carry a dust around. And Clockwork also has to carry a dust around, and so does Treant. So you using 1 slot makes them have to use 3 slots. And one of them's on a hero that doesn't want to give up a slot, but he has to now. And even when they do, March, all of this guy Spin, and most of this guy, all of it just like doesn't do any damage anymore. Even if they dust you, or whoever you're going on. And that allows you to use this much better. Because certain cases, you could Glimmer somebody instead of repel them, and then repel somebody else that needs to repel more. Like, in that Monkey King situation, where you ran through the March, you didn't need a repel, you just didn't want to take the damage. So you could have Glimmered yourself, probably.
Okay.
And then repelled him. So it just lets you play more dynamically and use this more for the purpose that it's the best at, and then use Glimmer for the other purposes. Raffle them out? Dank ult, dude.
Thanks.
Here, I'd be looking to repel the PA, like, right away. I guess they both have BKBs because they don't trust you. And here you want to heal and repel the Pudge. Wait, is that guy on my friends list? Oh no. And this looks small, but like, use your Soul Ring here.
Right, yeah.
Because that just means you have an extra 130 mana in your next fight.
That fucking talent with Rocket's mini stun is just brutal when you're trying to high ground.
At least you're not a Pudge. That shit's annoying. Cause
oh yeah.
That's the reason he got it, I'm sure. And then also SF ult and like Monkey King kind of. Lol. Alright, so you have to go soon, so we're gonna speed through it. I don't think there's too much left to go over. I think you're just kind of like in a horrible spot now, so you have to play horribly.
Yeah. I just tried to get items to like help everyone else out. It's like that's what the Lotus Orb and then fucking Blink Dagger by request, I don't know.
Well, the Lotus is like, or you could just have a push stick and a Glimmer Cape. Like that's
right.
Like it's good against the Tinker, because then he can't just like perma sheep somebody. But know what else is good against Tinker? Fucking Force Staff and Glimmer Cape. Lol. I'm actually triggered just watching that Tinker. Eight. So I think that's the game. Do you have any final questions?
No, I think we got it all actually.
Alright. So yeah, like really, you need to be using your quick buy. And like if you need to, just get a fucking sticky note and put it on your monitor. Use quick buy at the start of the game. Like we've done fucking like 100 sessions now, and you're still not doing that shit.
Alright, I might actually do that.
Yeah, I did that shit for a while. I had like 8 sticky notes, and it was like buy, earn, get smokes, use your quick buy. But you have to like, you're just gonna not even register it after a week, so you have to like actually pay attention to it when you first start doing it.
Right, okay.